What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. Well, today is the day we're going to go ahead and build our 12 GPU Ravencoin mining rig in our grow tent. So here is what we're going to be building today. Kind of laid everything out for you guys so you guys can see exactly what we have going on. So we're going to be using 11 RX 470 4 gig cards and one RX 570 4 gig card. These do anywhere between 13 to 14 mega hash on Ravencoin each. So we're going to be using the Asus B250 mining motherboard. Supports up to 19 GPUs. We're going to use 12 right now, and we do have room to expand if we want to use the P series for the last additional card slots. In addition to that, to power this, we're going to be using two 1200 watt HP server power supplies. Now we are on 240, so that gives us the 1200 each. We also have two breakout boards as well. Finally, in addition, we have a EVGA 650 gold power supply that will be powering the motherboard. We'll be using our two HP server power supplies to go ahead and handle the risers as well as the graphics cards. Now we will be doing this in a hanging rack. So thank you to the guys over at Misfits Mining. They have supplied us the GPU hangers. And if we look close enough here, you can see these actually have my logo on them, as well as it says the Hobbyist Miner on the bottom. If you guys are interested, I'll put a link down below. You can go ahead and pick up a set of red or a set of black if you're so interested. Now keep in mind, these X's break out based off of your card needs. So if you have a little bit older of a card and it has like a DVI port on it, this is perfect because they break out. But if it's all DisplayPort and HDMI, you don't need to, and this will fit directly over top of them nice and easy. So I'll put links down below for the red and also for the black. So that handles our power supplies, our motherboard, our GPUs for today, and also our GPU hangers. So let's go ahead and cruise over here. So let me actually turn off this massive fan here. These things are amazing, by the way. They do 5200 CFM, and it was like, I don't know, 40 bucks. I'll put a link down below as well if you guys are interested. But yeah, it's made, actually, it was a company I haven't heard of before. It's called Built Hard, but they're awesome. They do great, and they pivot, which is awesome too, so I'll put them down below if you're interested. I've been using them here and then also in the mining room as well. So huge shout outs to GPUrisers.com for supporting this rig and the channel. They have supplied us with 12 of their brand new revision GPU risers. As well, we have our GPU adapter cards, and they also have supplied us with their new 64 gigabyte solid state drive that we'll be using today. We have 12 USB A to A on each side there, 3.0, as well as their new GPU risers. They're these are their splitters. So it's an 8-pin on one side and then 6+2 on the other. And these are actually 18 gauge. And I really like these because of the wrapping they have on them is like a braided material, and it's super stiff, which makes it really great and easy to work with. So finally, when we're talking about metal racks, I'm doing another set of these. So if you guys watched a previous video where I went ahead and build a R380X rig, the motherboard, the power supplies, I went ahead and took a piece of plywood, cut it to the size I want. I put a rubber toolbox liner on top, and I'll actually put a link down below if you're looking for this exact one. This is 100% rubber, and that's why I went with this. And then I went ahead and went down to Home Depot and got some really thin aluminum angle, and I just went ahead and cut it, and then I went ahead and pre-drilled some holes through these. And so what we'll do is I'm going to put my motherboard on here, I'm going to put my power supply 650 watt here, my solid state drive here, and then each of my HP server power supply on here. And I broke this up so that I can have airflow, and I'm not just doing one giant sheet of plywood. So let me go ahead, I'm gonna get our rig opened up here. I'm gonna do that now real quick. And I wanna go ahead and power down the test rig we have in here. Alrighty. Whew, bumping into fans and everything. Okay, look at this. This is the huge benefit of a grow tent. Look how far that just pulls away, which is awesome. So this is our test rig that we've been mining in here with. Another one of the GPUrisers.com solid state drives, and this has been in here for over a week now. This is the RTX 3060. This is the Vision 1, so it is the nerfed version. It's been doing great in here, really well. If you guys are interested in this setup with the intake and our exhaust and kind of how we have this set up, I'll put a link in the upper right hand corner to our last grow tent video. Before we go ahead and power this down and start to get everything laid out in here, huge shout outs to VivoSun. They have actually gone ahead and partnered with the channel to provide all of the grow tent stuff you guys see here. So they've provided the entire grow tent, they provided the exhaust fan, the duct work that we're working with. We even have some more goodies over here to start to mess with. We got a dehumidifier and a few other, what's this other guy here? Let's see, thermometer and humidity that we're going to be messing with in a future video, which is awesome. So shout outs to VivoSun. If you guys do want to go ahead and check them out, I have a 15% off discount code for their entire website. So if you enjoy what you see today with us setting up this Ravencoin rig and you want to go ahead and get your own grow tent, 15% off their entire website. There's a link down below, Miner15. So let's get started building. So I'm going to go ahead, power this down in HIVEOS, and then I'm going to get started laying things out. So I'm going to power that down. I'm going to lay out my motherboard and my power supplies here. And I'm going to install them, and then I'll circle back around and show you guys my progress as we slowly move forward. If you guys are looking for a step-by-step, no breaks, no pauses video on how to build a larger mining rig, I'll put a link in the upper right hand corner. I built this rig quite some time ago, a 12 GPU mining rig, and I have the entire video. It's like 45 to 50 minutes long, and I go through every single individual step. So if that's what you're looking for and you're getting into mining and just learning, check out the link in the upper right hand corner for that. That will walk you through the whole thing. So I'll be right back, guys. Okay guys, so we went ahead and removed our test bench. I'll show you where we moved that to. And then down below here, take a look, see what we got. So turned out pretty well. It has a piece of plywood with that rubber toolbox liner in there. The motherboard is mounted, and then as you can see, look, you see how we have the angled aluminum there, kind of holding everything in. It's got that held in place. It has our power supply there, ATX power supply held in place. Now the 650 watts complete overkill for powering the B250 mining motherboard, but I wanted something that had a good rating, so I went the gold, so that'll be super efficient. And then on top of that, if we ever need room for expansion, we have it. On the sides here, we have our HP server power supplies. Off to the right, that's mounted. I have the power cord that way because if you guys watch my previous video, down below we actually have our 240 watt PDU. It's a 30 amp 240 and that's down below, back behind our intake here. So the power cable will go there, power cable will go there. I did position the ATX this way so that there's less cables coming towards the middle, and I can do a little better cable management back towards the back there. So this is how that turned out here. And then my next step is I'm gonna go ahead and mount all of my GPUs to the GPU hangers and stagger them through here, all 12. Is my game plan. You can see here is the GPU hangers that we're talking about. We'll attach those to the cards. Now the test rig that we were just talking about in here, I actually moved, this rig used to be over here. I moved it over here because I wanted to go ahead and, so you could see, I have that cable for the PDU. Comes all, sorry about the fan, comes right over here. That's another one of these fans I got sitting right here. So that rig I moved over here, and then the test rig is right here, as we had talked about. This is now, it was mounting Ravencoin in our test. I swapped it to Ergo, and so now we're going ahead and mining Ergo on this card. The rest of these cards have run great. Oh, here's another example of doing the plywood with the rubber toolbox on top and then mounting everything. That's what it looks like there. Now, the distance between the rack here and the rack there is much closer here than on the other setup. I spread it out on the Grow Tent setup because I wanted to kind of clean up the cable management a little bit better by extending those cables so they don't get as much of a rat's nest there. So that card, let's look here. This is the test rig. Let's refresh here. This is the EVGA RTX 3060. There we go. It's up and mining right now, doing 102 mega hash on Ergo at 1119 on the core and 2150 on the memory, with a nice conservative 150 for the power limit, but it says it's using 60. There's about a 15 watt difference, so maybe 75 watts there total. Okay, so let's head back out. And I'm gonna go ahead and get started at attaching these to the GPUs, and then we're gonna go ahead and get them hung. So I will check back here in a few minutes after I've gotten all of these mounted before we do any cable management. Okay, so that took far longer than I thought. Look at all this. This is all of the 3D printed material from the center of those hangers. But they're set. Oh, look at that, it looks so good. It looks so good. So, power supply, motherboard, power supply, solid state drive, and power supply. We now have our 12 cards. Let me tell you what, even with this configuration, I'll probably change the layout of these cards a million times before I'm satisfied with it. But I wanted to space them out enough to allow for the airflow to occur properly through the tent, because you have to remember our intake starts almost over here, and then it's going to snake across the tent. So if this configuration doesn't work ideally, the other way to do it is to take the cards and go this way, go long ways. Now if I go this way, I won't be able to use the GPU hangers, and I could use the zip tie, the solution, but I think this will work well. I spaced them out really well. The GPU hangers should do the trick here. And if you guys are wondering if these will work with your rack, you see how there's all this space in here? The guys over at Misfits Mining have gone ahead and designed these so that like it just hooks into one, and then your spacing as to how far apart these are just has to, like, they're universal, guys. So pick up any metal rack and you'll be set and good to go. So my next thing I'm gonna do, which is gonna take me the longest, so I'm gonna put in some earbuds and go ahead and listen to some music and bang this out, is I have to install the GPU risers and install the USB cables, install the PCI cables, so do all my cable management in here. So before I do that though, I'm gonna go ahead and I wanna get my power cable. So I got one power cable here, I got a power cable here, and then a power cable over here. I also need to go ahead and wire up my motherboard, and I need to wire up the solid state drive. I also need to, before I do that, now that I think about it, I need to go ahead and put a HIVEOS image on here. So I'll do that as well. So I'm gonna work on this rack first, and then we'll check back in and I'll show you guys that, and then we'll do this rack up top here. So I'll catch you guys back here in just a minute. We are making progress. So I went ahead and slid the intake out of the way. You guys can see the PDU is down here. This is the triplet. I think it's the 12, is it the 1234? I'm looking on it now, 1230. So this is the triplet PDU 1230. I'll put a link down below. I have a link in the description, guys, called the Hobbyist Miner parts list. So all of these parts that you guys see that I'm using will all be down there if you're interested. So I decided to go with yellow. These are the C13 to C14 cables. I went ahead and ran those. So I got one of those running to the back of this unit. We have one running here to our EVGA 650 watt, and then one over here to our other 1200 watt. In addition to that, I went ahead, and it's kind of hard to see in the back here, but I went ahead and ran the 24 pin to the motherboard. I ran the 8 pin to the motherboard, and then we have our SATA running to our solid state drive as well for power, and then the red cable here, SATA, for interfacing to the motherboard. We do have our power button. This is one that I've kind of stripped down out of an HP tower. I use a lot of those for like their motherboards and stuff like that. So hey, I had an extra power button, so there we go, good to go. Other than that, this is kind of our final product right here. The one thing is, I just realized when I was sitting here looking at it, so I might as well show you guys. So VivoSun has this really cool system. So there is a bag inside here that has a drawstring that tightens super hardcore. So you can actually see the wall in the back. I can feel the air coming through there. And then there's another bag here. So it's like a double bag layer. So in order to seal this, they actually have a whole bunch of these. You see, there's one there. There's another one over here. They're all over the place. So what I'll do is, it's hard to do one-handed, but I will pull the smaller one tight inside of here and then pull the bigger bag over top and seal it. It's like a 2-bag system. I don't think I'm gonna go as crazy, but we'll see, to tape these off, because these drawstrings are so convenient to work on and they seem to work really, really well, but we'll find out and see if we need to do that. So next step, guys, is I'm gonna go ahead and wire up risers, USB cables, and the PCI cables next. So next time we check back in, that is where we will be. Okay guys, so it's getting super late here, but we are gonna power through. So I did 6 cards so far, as you guys can see, and I'm gonna say these look freaking awesome. So take a look. Each of our cards has a GPUrisers.com current version 8 capacitor GPU riser. It has a 6-pin here. There's the +2 tail. I zip tied it there, and then it goes over to the 8-pin on these cards. It comes down to an 8-pin female and then goes over to our PCI. So my goal was to try to, and I really tried to think this through regarding cable management. I was like, okay, how do I go ahead and wire this without using a bazillion zip ties or Velcro straps? And it was just kind of thinking it through. Like, as you can see, the black USB cables, I had them all piped the same way, and then I strategically put them into the motherboard in slots that made it not too tight. And then take a look there, you see those clips? Those are 3D printed, and I need to add one right here. 3D printed GPU adapter card clips. They're right here. Take a look. I got a whole pack of them. I got a pack of 40. These are from CryptoShaped.com. I'll put a link down below to them. So shout out to them for providing these for this build. But it turned out really well so far. The only card that has 2 PCI cables to it is, and I put the 570 on the very end here. And so it has not only the 8-pin, but also a 6-pin there. And I even went ahead and strategically tried to space things out on the breakout board. So here's card 1, 2, and 3 on this side. And then over here, card 1, 2, and 3 on this side. And then this is that extra PCI that we have over here. But other than that, I mean, it's coming along really, really well. There's our first 6 black GPU hangers. We did the black USB cable. On this side, we have the red GPU hangers, and I'm going to use red USB cables. So this took a while. Now it's time to do this, and then we're ready to power this sucker up, guys. So I already know that I'm going to record this video tonight, and then I'm going to edit it in the morning. So if you guys are watching this, it's probably going to be mid-morning tomorrow that you guys will end up getting this. I appreciate you guys understanding getting this later, but let me go ahead and stop blabbing and let's get the next 6 ready to go. All right, guys, it is the moment of truth. Let's take a look at this. We got our RX 470s, the 1570 in here, all set and good to go. Dude, I love those Y splitters there. They look so good. We got our red side and we got our black side here. Everything came together good. I'm excited. So we're not going to seal up the tent just yet. I want to go ahead and power this up, make sure everything boots up properly, and then we'll go ahead and check HIVEOS. We got to get a flight sheet and some overclock settings in place, and then once that's all done, we'll seal the sucker up and see how we're doing. So Let's go ahead. Always you want to boot up your server power supplies first. As you can see, that gives power to the GPU risers and also the cards. We have another one over here. There we go, looking good. Now we have to turn this on in here. And here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, damn, that looks good. Cards are spinning. Let's take a look here. Check all of our cards. Make sure everything's spinning. Looking good. Heck yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. This build has taken forever to come together, and it looks so good. Dude, the red LEDs for like it makes it so easy. These are the PCI adapters from GPUrisers.com. The latest version of them has the LED indicator light on them, but it makes it so easy to just look and identify them to say, okay, they're all plugged in, we're all good to go. Okay, so HIVEOS must have kicked in, and you can see that the fans aren't moving right now. We don't have a flight sheet on them or anything. So let's go over, take a look here. Oh, yes, look at that, that's sick. Okay, so I called this rig Dryad. Now that is an X-Men. All my rigs are named after X-Men. As you guys can see when I come back here, you know, we have Banshee, Dryad, Gambit, Iceman, and Juggernaut. Dryad is like a plant-based, like a plant X-Men type of deal, so I thought that was perfect for our Grow Tent. So our Grow Tent B250 mining motherboard, take a look. 470, 470, 470, 570, 470, 470, 470, 470, 470, 470, 470. Awesome. Okay, so let me go ahead and swap over to the computer, and we'll go ahead and get this set up. Okay, we are on the computer. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and assign a flight sheet for this. I don't have a flight sheet for this yet. So let's go ahead and create one. And this is Ravencoin. Our wallet is Exodus. Our pool, got to go with minerpool.org. Love this pool. These guys are awesome over there. Our miner is going to be Team Red Miner. And we're going to call this the name of the rig, which is Dryad, Ravencoin, and Team Red Miner. It's kind of how I label my flight sheets. Perfect. And where are you? Colossus, Banshee. Am I missing it? Oh, it's at the top. I'm like, what's going on here? Okay, cool. So let's go to our worker. And let's go to Dryad. And let's apply the flight sheet. Yes! Super excited. Okay, in the meantime, I already have overclocks for these from quite a while ago, actually, when we were mining with these on Ravencoin. We mined with these on Ravencoin months and months back, and then we swapped to Ergo for a while. But I do have some settings here, so let's go ahead and get a template set up. So we're going to go on Kapow. Our core clock is going to be 1100. Now I'm going to set this all the same, but then I'm going to adjust the one for our 570. The 570 is a little bit different. So we'll set this way first, and then we'll kind of dive in from there and get everything good to go. We're going to run the fans at 65 for now. We'll see what we have to do once we get our grow tent set up. I do need to tweak these, but we'll do that individually. And let's apply this here. Oh yeah. Okay. So once we get back over here, okay, so for my 570, we need to go ahead and change this. Our 570, let's see, what did we have that at before? 1150. and we had that at 890, and then 2050. Okay, cool. Okay, so now what I need to do is I need to go through and do our tweaks. So this is Samsung for the first one. So let's add that tweak in here. Bam, done. Next one is Samsung. The next three are Samsung. So let's just do that real quick. And then we have Hynix. Okay. Hynix, which is 30. Yep, there it is. Okay. Then we have El Padilla. Okay. And then we have, come on, Hynix. We're getting there. We're getting there. I know this is super exciting. Super exciting right here. I'll tell you what. Okay, El Padilla. Samsung. All right. And there's probably a faster way to do this. You could probably just do this like when you click like the main overclock one and pick which cards are which. I'm just kind of banging this out real quick. I mean, I don't know. Maybe one way is faster than the other. Let's go from the bottom here. El Padilla, Samsung, and finally Samsung. All right, cool. There we go. Awesome. So we're high 13s, our 570s in the 14s, which is perfect, which is great. So now what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and restart this rig after I made all these changes and things like that. So let's go ahead and reboot it and see where our hash rate's at when we're done. Alrighty, so we are good to go. We're at high 12s right now. So as I said, it'll fluctuate between high 12s and up to 14. It all really varies, but exciting stuff. Our configuration is set and good to go. Our temps are good for right now, but we still got to seal up our tent. We still got to turn on our exhaust, and we also need to look at what we're doing at the wall. So let's go ahead and swap over back to the camera and let's wrap this video up. Okay, guys, so we are ready to seal up our tent right now. Our intake, I don't have to do anything with. It's a passive intake here. Look at that. We're at 80 degrees without even sealing the tent yet. And I do need to seal that off there, that pull string there. That has our power cable for our exhaust as well as our Ethernet cable that comes in. So let's go ahead. First, we'll turn on our fan up here. We're gonna put that on high. Let that sucker get started there. There we go. You can hear it now. Taking off. So let me go ahead and seal that up real quick. In the meantime, before I do that, let's walk over and look at what that rig is doing total. So 12 GPUs, 3 power supplies, motherboard. Okay, so we're at 1,175, 80 watts total, give or take. Sorry, I'm right in front of this fan. Let me step out of here. Sorry, guys. I was right in front of that fan. I'm sorry if that was messed up. So we're almost 1,200 watts there, it looks like right now, on this setup here. Now that PDU is only set up for this right here. So it's 1,200 watts. So we do have room for growth in here if we're interested. Based off the way we have the bottom design, we don't really have any room. And up top here, we'll have to see. This might be the max for this tent the way I have it designed, but we'll have to see. We'll get creative and see what we can do from here. So our next step is sealing up the tent. So I'll be back here in just a second. Okay, so let's seal the tent here. We're gonna go ahead and grab this zipper, pull it across. Don't wanna mess up. Oh, hitting a card. Don't wanna do that. I'm trying to do this one-handed, guys, so bear with me here. A little harder than it looks, but we'll get it. As I throw you guys around. It's so much easier to undo. This is crazy. Oh, my cards are, oh, the cards are too close to the tent. You hear that? Yeah, the cards are too close to the, I'm like throwing you guys around. I'm sorry. Okay, so the suction that it creates, I gotta move these cards back a little bit. So these cards were sucking in the tent a little bit because it creates that negative pressure. So I'm just gonna pull these back a little bit. There we go. Okay, because we definitely want some airflow still. Why don't we actually do this here? Oh God. Yeah, I wanna leave the, leave that in here so we can see what our temperature is. Now, something we need to keep in mind is this temperature might get up to 90, 95 degrees, but the goal is what is the temperature of the cards? Because the air is gonna move so quickly through this tent that the airflow is what's key. And I have another one of these on the way, just in case we find we need a second exhaust. I'll put another exhaust right here, if need be. Okay, so let's try this again. I'm bumping the cards some more. All right, we're trying one-handed. No need to stop recording, other than giving you guys a ride here. Come on. It's a lot harder than it looks, I swear. Okay, tent is sealed. So, exhaust is hard at work. We're on high. Outside the tent here, we're at 76 degrees at 49% humidity, which is comfortable, it says. If I come over here, we actually have, I bought this dehumidifier not too long ago. Man, it just runs all day long, and it pipes over into the sub pump there to kind of cut down on the humidity in here. So yeah, our cards are in here. You see how much this is getting sucked against here? That means it's going to be pulling a lot of air through that intake because of that. So 56 degrees, or 56, which is actually really good right now. You have to give it a few minutes though on the percentage for humidity, 56, because man, it rained 3 times today in Pennsylvania off and on. It was awful, guys, awful. And then 83 degrees out there. So let me jump over. We're gonna give this 10 minutes and we're gonna check back in 10 minutes to see exactly where we are with all of our temps. Okay guys, so I didn't have all the cards actually mining before. I refreshed. All the cards are now mining. We're at 2,150, maybe 60 total watts. In addition to that, look at HIVEOS. Holy moly, I have the fans at 100% right now, and the cards are just getting, they're getting really warm. So, too warm for my comfort. So if we head back over to our grow tent, look at our grow tent. It's 103 degrees in there right now, and the percentage of humidity is 31%. So, until I get my second 6-inch fan, which it looks like we're definitely gonna need, what I'm gonna do is on the side of the tent here, you see these? You could pull this off. And this is actually a screen. So this is a screen, this is not plastic. So now we've opened it up to allow it to go ahead and start to pull some air from the downstairs basement for right now, which is 77 degrees. So let's give it, look at this, up to 105 now. So let's give this a little time and let's see exactly where we end up getting after a few more minutes. Okay guys, so it's been a little bit. It has gotten so toasty in there. Look at that, 113 degrees inside that grow tent right now. I did go ahead and open up the vent over here. I went ahead and opened up the vent over here, and it is still toasty as anything. So definitely gonna need that additional exhaust fan in here. And then I do need to go ahead and take a look at the intake to see if we need to bring more intake in, if the filter that we have in there is restricting airflow too much. So I need to play around with different combinations to get this down significantly. You can't have your cards operating in an atmosphere of 100+ degrees, even inside of a grow tent. You can't have that. But other than that, guys, we're gonna end things here today. Our Ravencoin is doing upwards of, last I checked, about 160 mega hash between our 12 GPUs right there on Ravencoin. We are using minerpool.org. Huge shout out to the partners and sponsors from today that helped out to make the video possible for you guys. I wouldn't be able to do this content without them. So first off, VivoSun. Go ahead and check them out, vivosun.com, guys. Use the promo code MINER15 to get 15% off your entire purchase. I'll put links to everything that I've used down below. Another huge shout out to GPUrisers.com. They provided the risers, they provided the solid state drive, they provided the splitters, they provided the PCI adapter cards. So huge shout out to them for providing that. Shout out to Misfits Mining for providing the GPU hangers that we used, and finally to CryptoShaped.com for the PCI adapter clips that are used to go ahead and attach it directly to the motherboard. Other than that, guys, that is it for today. Our Ravencoin Grow Tent is complete. We have a lot of fine tuning to do, but I'm super excited to see where this goes. If you guys enjoyed the video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Take care.